Pranam. From today, we will have a new series called Untold Events. And the episode on is Morichampi. After crashing the backbone of coal and steel mafia soul in a turbulent tenure as police chief of Asansol, West Bengal, I was picked up by CBI for 5 years. I was posted as SP of a central branch in Delhi, having jurisdiction all over India. When I completed 4.5 years, Sunil Chaudhary, the IGP of West Bengal, repeatedly requested the director CBI, who was his bestmate, to bring me back to my cadre, West Bengal, to be posted in Howrah district for my outstanding performance of maintenance of law and order at Asansol. Ultimately, the director CBI agreed to release me on the condition that Biswar should be posted as an SP in an important district, otherwise, he would be returned to CBI. I returned to West Bengal and reported to IG West Bengal. He proposed to post me as SP Howrah district, where law and order broke down. This was turned down by the Chief Minister, Sri Jyoti Basu. The IG sent another proposal to post me as SP Darjeeling, which is considered a soft assignment. That too was turned down. The director CBI was tracking down what happened regarding my posting. He wanted me back to CBI. The IG agreed and told me he could go back to CBI. I requested the IG not to return me to CBI as my colleagues may not perceive it in right spirit. Jyoti Basu, in a cabinet meeting, discussed to punish me for my private criticism of West Bengal government action against the Morichampi refugee settlers. On cabinet minister reasoned out that it will be an injustice to the officer. He has the democratic right to differ in private discussion regarding a government action. The CM Jyoti Basu did not move further on this, but decided not to post me in any station where I could come into public contact in general. That was the reason for rejection of the proposal of the IG, first to post me as SP Howrah and secondly as SP Darjeeling. I came to know the discussion and the decision from a source of mine in the cabinet. But what I really did in Delhi, this caption I gave called Covert Action in New Delhi. During Morichampi event, I was in CBI, Delhi, on deputation to the Government of India. I was SP of a central branch having jurisdiction all over India. I was in charge of investigating various states, including West Bengal. I had to travel to the states where CBI had cases under investigation. I kept my DIG informed of my interest and activities regarding Morichampi so that no misunderstanding developed between us. It was necessary to keep an eye on the important events that took place in different states where the officers had cases under investigation. Any day, the Honorable High Court or Supreme Court may pass orders to take over the cases under investigation or register fresh cases on any event. The state government itself may seek the Government of India for CBI investigation of a particular case under investigation by local police or CID of the state. So, in ordinary course of events, I collected information about the Morichampi event. During my visit to West Bengal, I came into contact with a reputed journalist of a leading Bengali daily who was covering the event. I found him empathic to the cause of Marichabi settlers. He had also good contact in Delhi. He introduced me to Srimati Amiya Rao and her husband B.G. Rao, ICS of West Bengal cadre, who took voluntary retirement. Both of them are socialist. I prepared a file for Srimati Amiya Rao, hereafter Amiyadi. She read every word of that report and called me again to the residence for detailed discussion. She was shocked that nobody of some eminence in the capital was concerned of such a grave violation of human rights. She assured me her not only cooperation but creation of a team of eminent people to support the cause of the Marichabi settlers. She took me to the persons of power and influence who could stand by the side of the Marichabi settlers. Morarji Desai was the Prime Minister of the coalition government. Socialist Party was one of the coalition partners. I had seen Omiyadi's command over the socialist ministers. Once she fired a minister in charge of health ministry for his failure of taking appropriate action to admit a poor woman in a hospital in Delhi. Through our sustained effort, I would like to say, through our sustained effort, we could convince a number of people, including a journalist of international importance, that Marichabi refugees desperately needed support of intelligentsia as well as central government intervention. In Calcutta, we formed a group consisting of that journalist, Santosh Maulik, an income tax department, Sushma Maitra, later Sarkar, Shakti Sarkar, and few others. A team was sent to Marichapi to see the situation there. A tubewell was dug and a good amount of money was given to build huts. When the state government clamped a blockade to Marichapi, Calcutta High Court was moved for relief. We in government service acted secretly, but Santosh Da, through his veil of secrecy, and openly acted in favor of the settlers. In a meeting of Marichapi lobby in the Indian Association Hall in Calcutta, he raised his voice very high and suffered a severe cardiac attack and died. Once I attended a meeting of Marichapi at the monument in Calcutta in disguise, but my mission was to generate a strong lobby for Marichapi in Delhi. It was possible due to Omiyadi's support and involvement. She was our leader, philosopher, and guide. I miss her so much. After my return against my will, she kept the charge going. As the time passed, she was caught up by the ooze of old age and left us. Before her death, she called the journalist of our team and said, quote, "Hand over this file to Ben," which he gave me, unquote. Her affection for me was unbound. Without her, I would not have been able to convince those who matter in the capital of the atrocity committed on Marichapi settlers. Had Jyoti Basu known even a fraction of the covert operation of mine in Delhi, he would have thrown me out of my service. Let me repeat here. Had Jyoti Basu known even a fraction of the covert operation of mine in Delhi, he would have thrown me out of my service. I realized my continuity in my cadre, West Bengal would be sheer waste of time to remain as a slave to the political masters. This changed the course of my career in the IPS. I was chosen by the Government of India in various assignments for a little good work done in the CBI. I taught as well as refreshed my skill of investigation as the principal of the Central Detective School, Government of India, for nearly 5 years. Police officers were trained from all over Southeast Asia, Africa, and other countries in the school. My tenure for 3 years in the Cabinet Secretariat gave me an excellent opportunity to lead a division of forces to defend our country in unconventional war. The CBI called me back, and the tenure was pretty long till I retired. Thus, in 2 terms, I served CBI nearly 14 years. The Government of India works gave me opportunity to travel length and breadth of my country for investigation. I became a true Indian. I represented my country several times in foreign countries for training and duty. This exposed me to the world. When I was in Athens, I met a Greek farmer on a road, and I nodded my head to wish him. He smiled and nodded his head to welcome to Greece. I said, I am from India. He instantly replied, India, a great country and a great people. I felt so proud and replied, Greece is a great country and the Greeks are great. Smilingly, we parted. I visited every part of Athens on foot, in trams and taxi. Once I missed a flight when I traveled from London to Dubai. When my flight reached Dubai, I was told my connecting flight of India had already left. The officials in the counter were arranging my visa for a day. Then all of a sudden, they told me to rush to the runway. The flight was waiting for me. I ran on the conveyor belt and got down to the tarmac. A special ladder was connected to the tail, and I was asked to climb fast. As I entered into the cabin, everybody looked at me in surprise. In the CBI, often my colleagues called me 007. At Dubai, it was a 007 thriller. Thanks to Jyoti Basu. His action was a blessing in disguise for me. Pranam.